Well, hello, everyone. Again, my name is Roger Mazzella. I'm a senior product manager for the Qt company. And today, as was mentioned, we're going to look at developing certified Medtech products with Qt. So some of you might not be familiar with the Qt company. We are a publicly traded company. We're based out of Helsinki in Finland. We are on the Helsinki NASDAQ. And so we've been around for about 25 years. The Qt company, what we produce and what we develop is a software development framework to be able to build user interfaces that are very modern, very safe, effective, and reliable. And we're across 70 different industries. So as this slide shows you, where there is a user interface, Qt is probably driving that user interface that you're experiencing. So we're in a number of certified and regulated industries such as automotive and aerospace and aeronautics and the medical industry. My experience in the medical industry, I've been in Medtech for about 20 years, but always working on this side of the food chain where I work for companies that are providing services and products to the Medtech developers, and that's what Qt is. So where there is a user interface on an embedded product, on a mobile product, on a desktop product, it can be built with Qt. And that's one of the values of Qt as well, is that it's cross-platform, meaning that you code it once, and regardless of the operating system, regardless of the chipset and the technology, the hardware underneath, regardless of the platform, desktop, mobile, embedded, one code base, you can have the same user experience across multiple different platforms, multiple different form factors, multiple different operating systems, and a variety of chipsets. So just to give you an idea of what Qt does. So coming on to the Qt company about 4 years ago, as I mentioned, I've been in MedTech for about 20 years. We really wanted to take a look at where Qt was in the medical industry and where we're going to go. So what I learned was that one of the first products that was built with Qt was an ultrasound device back in the mid-90s. So we have a long culture and a long history of being immersed in the medtech industry. But we needed to really organize things better. And as the industry evolves year by year, so must our product and our offering evolve. So what I first did in coming into the company was to say, well, what keeps medical product developers up at night? The type of product manager that I am, I'm not looking to stuff just random features and functionalities. I'm really trying to solve problems, right? So I want to see, well, what are the problems that we're trying to solve for our customers? Or when our customers are the people that are looking to use Qt and looking to evaluate our company and our technology, well, gee, what really is the deciding factor? What are the things that are on their mind? So there are three major areas of concern when developers develop products and select commercial off-the-shelf software like Qt. And there are three areas, and as we know, in the medical and medtech industry, we're all worried about risk. Well, the three areas of risk that we are constantly assessed over is clinical risk, which is the risk that a product won't work as intended. Cybersecurity risk, the risk that a product will be hacked or compromised. And human factors risk, that despite that the product may work as intended, the product is not being used as intended. And these are the areas where we could see risk being involved, risk that their product isn't working. And if we are not, and our company and our product is not helping to mitigate that risk, well, that's what keeps them up at night. So Qt, we work with our customers to support and create solutions for each of these risks and each of these problems areas. So let's start looking at clinical risk. And that, again, is risk that a product will be, typo, I apologize. Risk that a product will not be, will not work as intended. I apologize for the typo there. So the risk that a device will not safely and effectively function as intended. So in order to help mitigate the clinical risk, the Qt company is ISO 9001:2015 certified. What does that mean? That means we have a quality policy and we have quality procedures that are documented with our company. We also have certain safety critical tools that are certified. In the medtech industry, they are certified to IC 62304 up to a safety class C. But in addition to the safety critical tools, which do not necessarily have to be implemented. They are an option to be implemented. There's other code and other tool sets and libraries that you can build your products with that are not certified, but that fall under the software of unknown provenance, the IEC 62304 software of unknown provenance. So we provide support to be able to de-risk you as a vendor to make sure that we are aligning and supporting our customers' global regulatory and compliance process and procedures. And then we have partnerships. If our customers need that additional regulatory consultative support, additional support on their certification, to actually have somebody help them manage that operation, well, we have partners that we can bring in to help with their certifications and actually with their global regulatory submission. So as I mentioned, when we look at Qt, we are ISO under the IEC 62304 2015 certification. We are SOUP. We are software of unknown provenance. So what the manufacturer will do, and our customers, the people building these devices, they will look at us to say, okay, well, there's a few different areas that we need to de-risk you as a vendor, and we need you to provide certain transparency in your processes and procedures. And if you look down here below, the device manufacturer will have to provide evidence of the following when working with a company like Qt. Number one, the software provides the functionality and performance required. Number two, the device provides the support necessary to operate the software within the specification. And three, the software performs as required for the system. Now, these are 3 bullet points that seem very easy, but there's a lot of work and documentation and support that we provide from our company to make sure that our customers are covered when they are assessing the risk of working with a partner like Qt. So what we do in response to that is we provide documentation and transparency into our development process, our product performance, and our internal validation and testing. And this includes our quality systems, development processes, proof of internal testing. We provide the source code, our QA practices, all of our test reports, and a lot more. So what happens is that this becomes a very collaborative part of our offering where companies will work side by side with us as you're going through the regulatory and certification process. And we are there to provide that transparency through documentation, through conversation, through evidence that we have done our due diligence to be a safe, effective, and reliable technology that medical products can be built upon. In addition, I mentioned that we do have these partnerships, and we're very proud of a partnership that we have with the Emergo Group, who's a division of the Underwriters Laboratory. And so when these folks come in, they say, well, gee, Roger, I really need help with my 510K for the FDA or the EU or global regulatory bodies all over the world. Well, we at the Qt company aren't regulatory professionals or certification professionals, but we have partners like the Emergo Group that we can bring on in conversation to help get through that clinical process. Next thing that keeps medical device developers up at night is cybersecurity risk, the risk that will be hacked or compromised. In order to help mitigate cybersecurity risk, we at the Qt company do routine cybersecurity testing and validation that's internal and third party of our connectivity and development tools and libraries. So we have Qt Network, Qt MQTT, Bluetooth and Bluetooth Low Energy tool sets. So below the layer where people are developing user interfaces, there are tools, backend tools and libraries that help with the connectivity. Those backend tool sets and libraries are tested and are rigorously iterated for cybersecurity performance. And so we do have security updates and bug fixes for both major and minor Qt releases. So every release, every 6 months we have a major release, but then every 2 months we have bug fix and security releases. Every release we do bug fixes and security updates. And the commercial product offering legally permits manufacturers to permit modifications and reverse engineering. So we have an open source product and we have a commercial product. That commercial product allows the locking down of devices and allows static linking to prevent simple swapping of binaries used by the application, thus makes reverse engineering harder. So by choosing the commercial product, where you can lock down and secure your product to protect your IP, to protect from your devices being hacked or compromised. In addition, the Qt company is a member of AdvaMed. AdvaMed is one of the biggest lobbying groups to the U.S. government, to the FDA. They are a professional society, and we work lockstep with our customers on different working groups. One of the working groups we're on and that I participate in is a cybersecurity working group. So in order to mitigate cybersecurity risk, we are currently reviewing the newly released guidances and documents that are being put out to make sure that we are doing our due diligence to be secure and to be a secure solution for our customers. And the last thing that we heard that keeps people up at night, keeps developers up at night when selecting a company like Qt is the human factors risk. And that's the risk that a product won't be used as intended. So you make sure that the product works as intended, but then all of a sudden it's not very intuitive. It's very clunky. The user interface doesn't make sense. So we need to also be mindful, our customers are mindful that they are buying solutions that help them mitigate the human factors risk. So what is the value of a product working as intended if it's not used as intended? Sometimes human factors testing and the design for usability is really put on the back burner, in the back seat, compared to clinical and cybersecurity risk. But human factors risk and developing for usability is very critical because we have these different users now. Before, back when I was younger, really your healthcare is managed by the nurses and doctors and perhaps by technicians. However, now that healthcare is being more managed by the patient, and as patients, we're now consumers of healthcare, well, that healthcare can be delivered anywhere by numerous people. It could be in-home health aides. It could be, visiting nurses and care centers. It could be your own family. So these users now are more complex. They're different backgrounds. They're a whole different type of user profiles. So that has to be considered when developing your device, especially developing user interface. So there is usability risk. There are use errors, mistakes made by operators, or a problem with the device, not with the user, but and how it operates in reacting to a user's inputs. Adoption might be poor usability, drives users away. So if the thing is clunky and not intuitive, people just don't want to use it. They'll find another way. They'll find another solution. They'll find another device. Or devices that are not used cannot be effective. And so, the hackarounds that sometimes come to bear are even sometimes worse than the non-intuitiveness of the device itself. The usability risk is there. And what we have to do is design in usability very early. Shift the focus from what technology can do towards what the user needs it to do and create a holistic approach to usability. This is essential, right? Don't just look at the one individual button or functionality. Look at it as a whole system. Design in the usability early and try to design out user error from the beginning. Don't wait until you have to do your human factors testing to do that. Let's do it very early on. Let's do it in your initial concept. And so what happens is there's a problem, a real problem with the way things flow. You have cost and schedule pressures. You have human factors risks are then explained away, and the value obtained from this investment in usability testing is lost. And in the little flow chart on the right, you start your user testing, and what ends up happening is because things are so difficult and you have these cost and schedule pressures and you're trying to release the product, that you kind of shortchange the usability testing. You shortchange getting in early with your users and being able to then have tools and solutions that can easily iterate, easily prototype, easily correct these issues when you find them. So what happens is you end up testing and the lowest hanging fruit is corrected. And then the things that are more difficult end up being explained away, that there is no risk, or there's risk, but it's very low. And the FDA, the EU, and other bodies around the world are really shying away from this approach. The better approach is to really do something more holistic, to be able to iterate, to be able to design in for user usability early and start testing that early with your users as the product is being developed. And then redesign the items that don't work and continue to iterate that until you have a very low-risk product, one that works for the users, that is very intuitive, and that's very reliable. And then once that happens, you finalize the report. Well, wouldn't it be nice to have tools that you can do that? And Qt makes that possible. Qt makes it easy to iteratively prototype and redesign. We have pre-built libraries that enable drag and drops. You don't have to code everything. You can do it. What you see is what you get development. There are design tools where you can take the Photoshop or the sketch image, import that in, and the Qt code is automatically generated. So what is designed in your drawings and your concept drawings becomes a reality when the product is finalized. And that rapid prototyping, to be able to target to the device. You don't have to do things in an emulator. You don't have to do things in a simulated environment. You can actually target, put the user interface on the target device, on the target platform, and start testing and prototyping there. So it's in the form factor that users will use, not on some big screen, maybe on a laptop or desktop setting. So again, our design tools allow for faster iteration, improved predictability, and finally, lower costs, lower total cost of ownership, be able to eliminate waste, keep schedules, and avoid the costly surprises. I mentioned Design Studio, and here is kind of an area where we can get in very, very early. As I mentioned, we can come in with a Photoshop or a sketch drawing. When I say we, I mean you, the user, the developer of the product, can import their Photoshop and sketch design. That Photoshop and sketch design, as you see here on this dashboard, this left side of the dashboard looks so much like Sketch and Photoshop. So we're not changing the environment. We're actually replicating that environment in one dashboard. And here you can see live previews and how this thing is developing. You can animate the user interface and put in different controls and hooks and test it in this environment. And then on the right side here is where the developer will work. The actual QML code, which is our declarative language. The Qt QML code is on the right, and you can go ahead and actually take that code and send it to the device and prototype it right to the device and test on the device. So from the very fuzzy front end of development to your deploying and testing, we have you covered. You can use one tool to create the workflow, the development workflow from the designer to the developer to the prototype and testing. So rapidly prototyping, as mentioned on the target device, you could prototype in real space within the actual environment. That means the correct form factor, the correct resolution, the correct look and feel. You can identify actual issues and prioritize and triage the issues to be fixed in a very systematic way. And there's more. So I mentioned that we have a certified tool set within Qt, and that's called the Qt Safe Renderer. What the Qt Safe Renderer is, that is our IEC 62304, 61508 certified tool. It renders safety critical UIs that when you mark out and annotate the areas that are safety critical, if there is a software failure, if there is a blue screen of death, a crash, or something of that sort, the safety critical information you put in the Safe Renderer will still be displayed and still be accurate despite the software failure of a device. Now, why is this important? Well, imagine yourself in an operating room and you're a nurse or a doctor, and there might be 10 screens around. Well, let's say one of those screens fails and you're in an operating theater and the patient is under anesthetic, open for operation. You're the nurse and that doctor, and you look up and you see that blank screen. What happens? There's a panic moment. Well, with the Qt Safe Renderer, if the screen goes blank and the information, the critical information is still there, so you still know the patient's heart rate, you still know its respiration rate, you still know his or her end-tidal CO2, and all these good things to say that the patient is safe, that there's enough anesthetic going in, that there's enough oxygen going in, your focus can still be on the patient and not on the failing technology. And that's what our safety critical tool can deliver. So creating safe development environments, and then at the end, safe environments that the user is in to keep that patient safe. Because that safety critical information, despite any kind of failure, will still be on the screen. Now, this is not going to replace backup systems. Your backup systems and your devices will still be there, but this is to accentuate a safe user environment. And we have a use case. So we have a company called Clarius who developed a handheld mobile ultrasound device. And this was a wonderful use case that I encourage you to look at. And the big thing here is they used all of our technology. It's an approved device on the market in Canada, in the US, and they saved 6 months of development time and 500 hours of developer work time. And they still created a very safe, very effective product. Thank you very much for your time today. Here is my contact information in case you would like to get in touch with me and ask, and talk about this more. And there's some of the contact information for the Q company on the right. Now I've opened everything up to questions.